name is Jessica and welcome back to another cozy crochet vlog. We're gonna pretty much get right into it this morning, but may I just say, it's currently 40 degrees outside. It is officially feeling like fall in Michigan and I could not be happier. I gotta get cozy when I'm working in my studio because of the fact that my laser has the window with the fumes riding out, and so it's hard to get a complete and total seal to keep all the cold air out. So it gets cold in this room and I have to dress appropriately when I'm working in here all day. And so this little ear warmer headband situation, are you not obsessed with this? This is like a random obscure YouTube video tutorial that I found years ago. And if I can find it again, I will link it for you guys because it's so cute. I love it so much. Anyway, this does a nice job of keeping my ears warm when it gets chilly in here. But anyway, we are going to spend the day today doing something that I've been talking about finally. I've been needing to do this for a while and we're doing it today. We are going to be finally putting together the Christmas short sleeve button down granny square shirt that I was trying to have made for my husband last year in time for Christmas, and it did not happen. And now here we are, and we are determined to have it ready for this Christmas. So the majority of this vlog is going to be me taking all of the squares that have been made and ready to go for months and hopefully actually putting them together into a finished product that he can wear this Christmas. But before we do that, that's the main part of this vlog. But before we do that, I have to give you guys the final update on a project that we've been working on for several vlogs now, and that is this baby blanket. I am pleased to report that the baby that this blanket is for has been born, and baby and mom are both happy and healthy. I will also insert a clip of me working on this because I don't know if I told you guys this, but the conference thing that I had, the all-day conference, we took a bus to get there. Like everybody that was going to the conference, there was a bus that was chartered. And so I crocheted on the bus and we decided to be the cool kids instead of the back of the bus. So it was bumpy, but I did manage to get the border finished on this blanket, and I'll insert a clip here that Michael took for me. But I crocheted basically the whole trip.
It's real bouncy. I can't control it.
iPhone doesn't have stabilization.
It does have great stabilization, but when we get those big bumps, it doesn't help.
It's not back of the bus stabilization.
No, it's not.
If I had my gimbal with me.
How long do you want it?
And here is the finished blanket. I'll get some up close details. I don't know if you guys, no, it's definitely picking up on camera. There's a slight dye lot change here. Ask me how much I care. I don't. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. And I made the custom patch to go with this. His first name is Everest, and I put a little like mountain range at the bottom because I thought that's kind of cool, right? All that's left to do is sew that patch on, and then I am going to ship this out. Hopefully today I can get it all packed up and get it shipped out. We're finally finished with the baby blanket. It did also soften in the wash really nicely. Nice and drapey. And now, let's finally get started on this shirt. Well, hey there. Good morning. It's Friday, but I wanted to give you guys an update on where I am because this is the first moment that I've had to really be able to check in. My birthday was Monday. I've been working on cup cozies. These are for inventory purposes. For my hot cocoa bomb markets, I've shared with you guys a couple of times. One of the things I do is travel cups, and then they come with a crocheted cozy, and then you get to pair it with any of my bombs. Just trying to bust out as many as I can. I plan to sell about 60 of them this season based on previous sales reports. This is great because being able to work on these, first of all, it's a nice little break from all the hot cocoa bomb stuff. It's making inventory for my booth, and it's also stash busting, which is great because it is, well, it's officially October now, but it's just nice to kind of go through some of the cakes that have been sitting in my stash for a while. So as I said, Monday was my birthday. I turned 33. It was not a very festive birthday. I don't know if I shared this in a vlog, but I did make a post about it. I had this really beautiful plan of going to a coffee shop with Michael. He was going to bring his Nintendo Switch. I was going to bring my crochet. And that was all I wanted to do for my birthday because I fully realized that I'm going into my very busy season and I know that I'm not going to have as much time to crochet during this next couple of months. And so the idea of just going to a really cozy coffee shop, getting some coffee and spending the day crocheting and hanging out with my husband just sounded like the most relaxing, lovely way to spend my birthday. And that did not end up happening, unfortunately. We are still going to do it at some point. It's been rescheduled, or it's going to be rescheduled. So what ended up happening is Saturday night, this past Saturday, so almost a week ago, we ended up taking Murdoch to the emergency vet. Murdoch is okay. However, massive update that I have not shared on YouTube yet. Murdoch is actually a girl. The emergency vet is the ones that told us that she was a boy when the very first day that we found her and brought her in. I guess I just took them at their word and I never really took a closer look to confirm. When we brought her into the emergency vet, the vet tech is like, just so you know, she's a girl. Because we've been referring to her as he and him and everything. And we were like, what? She was like, yeah, I mean, I can triple check, but yeah, she's a girl. And I was like, you guys told us she was a boy. So Murdoch's a girl. I don't want to get too graphic. Just she had accidents all over the room that she was staying in. And she was like yelping and hissing anytime you got close to like the base of her tail. She did not want to be touched back there. And we were really worried. So we took her to the emergency vet. That's where we learned she was a girl. She was still super like playful and active and eating and all this stuff. It was just she was having accidents. It could be worms, it could be another type of parasite, it could be, the diet, but as long as she's still like active and playful and eating, you probably are going to be fine to just wait, because we knew we had a regular vet appointment coming up on Tuesday, and we knew they were going to do all of the treatment for the worms and ear mites and fleas and everything. And I asked them, I was like, what would you do? She said, honestly, if it was my cat, I would just wait until Tuesday and save my money. And I said, great, that's what we'll do. Well, then Sunday morning, she started acting really lethargic and she wasn't wanting to eat. And she was just basically sleeping all day and still really sensitive back there. And we were like, oh my gosh. The reason we decided to wait until Tuesday is because she was really playful and she was eating really well. And like all these other markers were good and now they're not. And of course the vet at that point had like a 4+ hour wait time in the evening. We didn't want to make her even more uncomfortable by sitting. So I said, okay, we decided we're going to call our vet first thing in the morning on Monday, see if they can get us in. If they have no way to get her in on Monday, then we'll take her to the emergency vet. Well, thankfully they were able to get us in on Monday. They did do, the medicines and stuff, but they were like, no, she's okay. We need to get a couple of these things, get her some medicine for these things and it'll be all right. She's doing much better now. Needless to say, my birthday, the first part of it was going to the vet. And then as soon as we got home, we sanitized and cleaned that room top to bottom. And then I had work to do. I had to get my molds cleaned so that I was ready to do hot cocoa bombs the next day. I finally had all of the supplies to be able to pack all the rest of my fall Berg boxes. So we spent some time doing that. I sat and crocheted a few of these cozies because I just wanted to like sit and crochet. And then we did get dinner with some friends. Michael organized a little friend dinner. We went to Longhorn Steakhouse because I was like, I just really want steak. I just really want steak. It was really lovely to go and have dinner with a handful of our friends. That was pretty much it. So the like relaxing, let's go to a coffee shop and chill day did not happen. Such is life. Like, it wasn't because we didn't set it up right or whatever. It just, stuff happened. So we are going to do that still. That's kind of the update. Good morning, good day. Are we super loud? Hi, good morning. Apparently this is becoming a theme where I am doing my hair at the very beginning of a vlog, but we're just doing a simple little braid. We are going to be tackling a project today that I have been putting on the back burner for almost a year. Not all of that time has it been put off out of necessity, but that is truly what has happened for a lot of the time. There were genuinely other things that just took precedence because they were more important, had a more strict deadline, whatever. And then there were definitely times where I could have worked on it and chose to do something else instead because it feels like an intimidating project to me. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. Last Christmas, I had this brilliant idea that I wanted to make matching crochet Christmas outfits for Michael and I. And the whole plan was that I was going to take this Christmas yarn that I had. Well, actually, okay, here's where it really started. I've been telling you guys about the cup cozies that I crochet for my hot cocoa bomb markets. I placed this order online of this Christmas yarn because it was right before Joanne came out with that beautiful collection of Christmas yarn. And I was like, man, I just can't find any good Christmas colors in store. So I placed this order online of all this Christmas yarn. And I was like, this is great. This is what I'm gonna use for my cup cozies and I'll be set. And then once the yarn got delivered to my door and I started working with it, I realized that it was very thin and it really wasn't going to work the way that I needed it to for my cup cozies, which is one of the reasons why it makes me extra sad that a lot of in-store crochet experiences seem to be closing, because sometimes you just need to be able to see the yarn in person, you know, to understand what it really is like. And that was an example of that going poorly for me. So now I had all this yarn that is Christmassy, but too thin to use for this project, and I had to decide what I was going to do with it. And then that's when I came up with the idea of, oh my gosh, what if I made crochet outfits for Christmas for Michael and I? And I've mentioned this in another vlog, but at our church, we do a Christmas event that's it's equal parts like, you know, the candlelit singing Oh Holy Night and everything, but it's also really fun. Like, we do a lot of really fun, it's almost like a big family Christmas party, and it's a whole vibe. And I thought, man, it would be so cool if I could make these outfits for the Christmas thing that we do, and I could wear, because we usually have like a photo op thing set up, and I'm like, that'd be so funny and so cool and cute. Normally Michael and I will wear like an ugly Christmas, like last year we wore matching ugly Christmas sweaters. I thought that making some outfits that were made up of Christmas color crochet granny squares. And the plan was to make a sweater for me out of granny squares. And then for Michael, because he overheats really easily, the yarn is not acrylic, it's like a cotton, I think it's mostly cotton. It's a thinner weight yarn, and so it's more breathable in general right off the bat there. But also I thought, let me make him a short sleeve. I found this pattern for a men's short sleeve button down collared crochet shirt. And I was like, that is perfect. It'll be short sleeve. He can just wear a simple t-shirt underneath it. It's not a full heavy sweater, and then he'll be more comfortable. But because it's granny squares, it's still gonna have that cozy Christmas retro funky look that I'm going for. So I got started on the process of that. I made all the squares. I was starting with Michael's, and then I was gonna make mine. That was the plan. I had a pattern picked out for mine as well. And when I made it last year, something went wrong with the sizing. Even though I did the gauge swatch and I did all the things, It's really hard to tell when you're making a shirt that's made up of a bunch of little granny squares how the sizing is turning out, right? It's one thing if you're making a sweater or a project where you're kind of starting from the bottom up, or you're doing the front panel and you've got this piece that you can kind of hold up to yourself and see. Is it wide enough? Is it long enough? Is it gonna fit? But when you're making a bunch of little squares and then you sew them together and then it becomes the item, it's kind of really hard to tell until you're like at the last thing whether it's working or not. And because of the way that this shirt is assembled, you can't just tack on a few more squares to make it bigger, unfortunately. I was very frustrated because I put all this time in and I thought I had it to where it was gonna be good, and then it did not fit Michael at all. So I was trying to figure out a way that I could modify it to make it bigger, but there was really no good way to do it without taking the whole thing apart. So what I ended up doing is I switched gears a little bit, I pivoted, and I ended up taking what was supposed to be Michael's shirt and I made it into my outfit. And instead of making a full sweater like I was originally planning on, I ended up making a sweater vest. It is longer on me because it was supposed to be for Michael. It's basically his shirt before the sleeves were attached, before the collar was attached, and it's just like an open, sleeveless sweater vest. Actually, let me grab it and I'll show it to you. Are you ready for this? Here she is in all of her funky retro glory. The idea was just mix matchy, whatever colors landed on the squares. I didn't try to make it a certain way at all. I don't know if it will fit super nicely over this sweater, but just so you can see what it looks like. I have a like mock turtleneck, a green one that I'm planning to wear under this for Christmas, but right? Like it's a whole vibe. So I was pretty happy with my idea and the execution of putting this vest together and using it as a vest rather than a short sleeve button-down shirt. But I still have to make Michael's shirt. And after the first time through, I think I figured out what went wrong, where it went wrong, and I remade all the squares. I have all the squares. I have had all the squares made for almost a year now. And all that's left to do is put them together. And sewing down all the rows and columns of squares is unfortunately the worst thing ever. Like, it just takes time and it sucks. The finished product, I'm hoping, will be worth it. Michael just left to go do some stuff, but honestly, by the time I get it to the point where it's ready to try on, he'll probably be home by then, because I am planning on trying to size it up to him, hold it up to him, make sure that everything's good, and try to do that, make that determination before it gets kind of past the point of no return. So all of the squares are mostly in this little cubby back here. Some of them have fallen because it's open in the back. There's some on the ground. I gotta assemble all my things. I have to find the pattern. It's somewhere in this room. And then I think I'm gonna put on some videos or maybe a show. Oh, is there a new season of Call the Midwife? I might end up just watching that if that's... Okay, chill. Shut up. Okay. My plan is to put on some videos and just lock in. The day has come. And wouldn't it just be fantastic if by the end of this vlog, I could show you a finished piece on Michael. And we could pose together with our cute little outfits. That's the plan. I don't know why I'm so nervous about this, because I've made clothing pieces like a billion times. I think because the first time it did not go well, my brain is stuck in like, that's gonna happen again. But I know what I did wrong last time. I course corrected, so we should be okay. I gotta get the ones that have fallen on the ground. Look it's dusty down there, there's random stuff. We've definitely had some squares that have fallen down, but most of them are back here in this little cubby here. Like I said on these, I just let the color changes naturally as they happened, because all of the yarn is like a self-striping yarn, and some of them are really funky. Okay, I believe all the rest of them are in this shelf here, and there's a lot. There's over 100, I think. Some of them are triangles, some of them are rectangles, half squares. You need different shapes for different pieces of the garment. It's going to be so nice to have, not just to have this project finished in general, because obviously that's going to be really nice, but also all these squares have been stuffed in this cubby for months, and it's going to be so nice to turn it into a finished piece and have them out of there. Oh, I'm going to knock more underneath here as I'm grabbing them. I think I did. Holy smokes, you guys. Some triangles in a bag. I have some like scrap pieces that I can use for stitching everything together. I haven't looked at this pattern in months. And you know how sometimes when you walk away from a project, especially if it's a project that was frustrating to you, the thought of getting back into it is very daunting, because it's like, I don't remember how to do the thing. So you just kind of like avoid. I'm at that point right now. So I just have to get back, refamiliarize myself with it. Sewing squares together with yarn is not my favorite. Some people find it relaxing. Some people find it annoying. I am one of those people. Do you guys like sewing squares together? It's not quite as annoying as weaving in ends, but it's like, it's up there. Yeah, it still dropped a few more. Okay, this is officially all the squares. Squares, triangles, and rectangles. Let's just go ahead and organize these into little piles here. 10, 8, 7, 1, 2. Making the squares was the easy part, right? You can just sit and work on them and it's super chill. It's this part that, to me, is the hard part. 6, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. That is 100. And we still have a few left. 6, and then these last two. Yeah. 106 sounds right. I do remember that being a number. And then these are all my rectangle pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 18 rectangle pieces. And then these are the little triangle pieces. Let's turn this into a shirt, shall we? This is the pattern we are working with. It is the Amalfi top crochet pattern by The Crocheting. The Crocheting. Obviously, in the picture, it's much more of a fashionable, cool guy type situation. But we're going for funky, we're going for retro, we're going for mismatched colors, we're going for Christmas, okay? So we're not exactly going to have as high fashion of a take on this as the original pattern. This does say make 107 full squares for the size that we're making, and I counted 106, didn't I? So either I lost a square somewhere along the way, or we're one short. But we have plenty more of this yarn, so even if we are one short, it's not a huge deal. I also could have miscounted, so we'll just see where we're at by the time we get to the end of sewing all the squares together, I think. Start by assembling the top base. This is the portion of the top that goes from underneath the armpit down to the hips. So it's going to be 13 full squares wide and 5 full squares tall. At this point, if you wanted your top shorter or longer, you could add or remove rows of squares from your top base to get your preferred height. So that's going to be the important thing, is I'm going to do the top base, which is the whole thing. Like, it's the full width that goes around the back and wraps around the front. It's all one piece. So I'm going to do that first, and then I am going to try it on him before I commit to that, because I can add to the length of it. And Michael prefers to have longer shirts. He doesn't like shirts that sit up higher on him. I think I could also add to the width. I'd have to do some math, but I think I could add to the width as well at that point if I really wanted to, but I would have to kind of go rogue on the pattern, and I really don't want to have to do that. All right, All right, we're getting into it. So we're gonna start with the instructions according to the pattern, and we will add squares if we need to. But for now, we are going to make a big rectangle of squares sewn together that is 13 squares wide and 5 squares tall. All right, let's get to work. It's crazy. I've been procrastinating this project in general for months. You guys know, we've talked about this, but I've also been procrastinating it just today. Like there was something else up on my computer that I was doing. So I started messing with that, and then I was scrolling on Facebook, and I probably killed like an hour and a half doing stuff that's not this. I like to use metal needles for these type of projects. They typically go through the yarn just a little nicer, a little easier. And I just need pieces of yarn that are long enough to get through 5. I decided a while ago that I wasn't gonna care about the color of yarn that's sewing the squares together. I did not care about it being uniform because the whole project is mix matchy, you know? There's no need to make make this part uniform too. It's just not necessary. This is a small-ish piece. We'll use this first. I always err when I'm sewing and like, you know, you have to like cut off the piece before you start. I always seem to have way too much yarn, and it's better to have too much than not enough, right? But it does add to the process because every single time you fish it through, you gotta pull all the slack, and that can get annoying. When I'm doing this, I'm starting in the corner chain and I'm going through the inside loops of each square and just going back and forth. Right now I've got wrong sides together, which feels right. The way that this pattern is, like, you don't really see the seaming of it anyway. I definitely feel like when there's a big project that you've procrastinated, the hardest part in getting it done is just starting. Ripping the Band-Aid. I mean, it's like any project that you put off, right? Or anything that you know you need to do and you just haven't been able to get yourself to do it. Generally speaking, the hardest part about the whole thing is just actually convincing yourself to start. Once you actually start, it's really not that bad. First 2 squares, already done. Also, I have not blocked my squares. No, I have not. It's all gonna come out in the wash, literally and figuratively. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. Everybody calm down. I'm not stressing super carefully about colors and making sure that the placement of the squares is exactly right. I'm just doing my best. I'm trying to grab colors that are not like, the only thing I'm really trying to do is make sure that I don't put one square next to each other that are like exactly the same color. I do think this will be the first time I've ever made Michael and I won't say matching outfits because they're not going to be matching, but we'll call them coordinated outfits. Coordinated crochet outfits. I've never crocheted an outfit or piece of clothing for me and then also made something for him where they kind of go together. And I am so excited. And I will make this shirt and it will fit him beautifully if it's the last thing I do. It's currently 12:30 p.m. We do have a board game night with our life group this evening at our friend's house. And I think that I might bring this with me because something about me is that I do not enjoy board games. And my life group knows this. They know that it is not board games are not my jam. But I like hanging out and being around when everybody's playing games, you know? I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be there for the vibes. So that'll give me some more time to work on this as well. I can sew together some more squares if I still have a lot of that to do. I don't know, we'll see how far we get on this. Like, there's not really any way to speed up this process. You just kind of have to settle in and go for it, one stitch at a time. Comes. Good girl. Oh, she's a nice girl. Oh, these are some big purrs. Yeah. Yeah. My big, beautiful girl. Oh, that's a sweet one. I officially finished the first section of 5 squares. It feels a little short to me. This is supposed to be armpit to the edge of the, the bottom of the shirt. What I'm gonna do that I have done in the past and has worked well is I'm gonna grab one of Michael's t-shirts that fits him well, that he likes, and I'm going to use it as a bit of a template. So I will line this up underneath the sleeve at the armpit. I have a feeling we're gonna need to add one more row, which would mean we'd need to make more squares. That doesn't bother me. I will crochet some extra squares if it means that it's gonna fit nicely. This is a Carhartt t-shirt that he recently bought that he really likes. It's brand new. I can already tell that this isn't gonna be long enough. I'm sorry, but you're being crazy. Well, honestly, actually, it's pretty close, isn't it? This is gonna stretch out a little bit. Try and get it. We're like barely there. This is the armpit here. We could block it. Yeah, I don't think I need to, because if I do a whole other extra square, then it's really gonna be long. And I don't want it to be too long. There's a point at which it becomes too much. You know what I could do is if we wanted it to be just a touch longer, after I finish the whole thing, I could go around the edge and just do like a row of double crochets. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. If we decide we need to add some extra length, we'll just do a little border of length on the bottom. Decision made. So now we're gonna continue adding, and then we'll wrap that around this and see what that looks like. He's probably gonna plan to wear it as an open. Like, I don't think he's necessarily gonna button it closed, but you don't want it to be way out. Like, you want it to still be fairly, like it could close if you wanted it to,
The, season premiere, whatever. Right. And like you.
I've not quite finished the episode of the podcast I've been listening to, and I've made a good amount of progress because this podcast is an hour and 20 minutes long, and like I said, I haven't quite finished it yet, and this is where we're at so far.
Zoo. We also had a zoo. And I feel like we're both attracted to the drum.
It's gonna come out tomorrow. It's easy. Max did finish the tutorial. It's gonna be out tomorrow. But all the little ones are like blue, like all right. Right. You know what makes me angry? That's like 1.5. The same color blue. Totally agree. Like
Okay, I just finished sewing on the 10th row of squares. 3 to go until we get to 13, and then we're gonna test it against the t-shirt. Hey, this is starting to look like something. I feel like I've done a pretty good job of spacing out the colors. I think it would be really nice, so the board game thing with our life group is at 6 o'clock and it is approaching 3:30 right now. So I do think it would be really nice if I could finish the width part, adding on these rows of 5 and get that done. And then it would be really simple and easy if I could just work on doing, all the way across the width, going back the other direction. And the other thing I could potentially work on is if we decide we need to add more rows to the width to make it larger, I could also crochet however many more squares I decide I need. I will check back within you. No, I will not. I will not be doing that. I will check back with you when we've finished the first 13 rows and we'll see where we're at.
Alonso, Oscar,
All right, chat, this is huge. We have finished 13 rows. Michael is home, so I could be like, let me wrap this around you and see what it feels like. But let's use our little template t-shirt first and see what it looks like. Let's line this up with the bottom. I'm trying to do it to where, well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the halfway point. So I want this to be centered. And then when we fold this over, if I go for the edge here to line it up with this seam, they're definitely not gonna meet in the middle. But I'm pretty sure I need odd numbers, right? I can't just add another row because there's stuff we're adding onto it this way. Yeah, like look at that. If we were to do 2 rows, right? 1 here, 1 here, he should be able to pull it close and button it if he wanted to. Right now we've got 13 rows across. If I did 2 more, that would be 15. And that would bring this a lot closer to actually meeting in the center. So I need to sit down, I need to look at the pattern, I need to do some math, and I need to see if that's really an option for what we're about to add on to the top. I would need to make extra squares, obviously, for this part, but I would also need to make extra squares for up here as well. Here's the t-shirt. This is what we're using as a template. I've got it lined up with the edge here and lined up with the edge here. Here's where it's ending on this side and ending on this side. So if I were to do 2 more columns, that would almost be, almost be meeting in the middle. Let me sit down and look at this pattern and we'll see what we come up with. Okay, friends, we've made a determination. I took a look at the pattern, stared at it, thought about it, questioned it, and I tried it on Michael a little bit, and I think what I've decided is I am gonna add 2 extra rows. For this part of it, it's easy because I'm just gonna add 2 more rows on, but the part that we're gonna add on top of that, above the armpits, is the actual arm, like shoulder sleeve part, and then the back panel. So you can see here, this little diagram, how it builds up in kind of 3 sections. And these are the parts that go around your shoulders, and this is the part that goes up on your back. So my dilemma was, where do I put the extra 2 rows? Do I put 2 more rows on the back panel, or do I do 1 additional row on the shoulders? And I was trying to visualize it in my head, like would one way look better than the other? Would one way fit better than the other? And I hope I'm making the right decision, but I am going to put 1 extra row on the shoulders. I feel like adding 2 extra rows to the back panel would maybe throw it off a little proportionately, and dividing it up between the 2 shoulders is gonna have it wrap around and meet in the middle a little easier. And when I tried it on him, the original part of the pattern that says the back panel is supposed to be 5 squares wide, the 5 squares looked pretty good across his back. It wasn't like it was way short and we needed 2 extra rows of squares to like have it fit nicely. So I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 more rows onto this to get 15 total. Let's do some quick math here. Everybody knows how good at math I am. The height of this is 5 squares, this whole thing. If I'm adding 2 more rows on, that's automatically 10 squares extra right there. And then I'm also adding additional squares for the shoulder panels, and those are 3 squares tall. 3 on one side, 3 on the other side would be 6. So I need to make 16 more squares total. Great. That means I know what I'm doing this evening when we're hanging out at our board game night. I still have squares because these squares would normally be, I would be moving on to the back panel and stuff, but instead I'm going to add 2 additional rows so I can keep stitching this for now.
The biggest red flag in this whole story, and it's one we didn't even expect to happen.
Let John learn ASL.
Oh, holy
Thank
crap.
you. And I've been
My
saying that.
God, yes.
Thank God she caught this.
Yeah.
And that they all caught this and he's out.
Yeah.
It's just everybody going back and forth.
Okay, I literally put away an eye and pulled 2 more.
Everybody wave to the vlog when you run by my phone.
What? Oh, okay.
It soaks and blurs. What the frick is a blurs? I don't know. It soaks. Blurs and soaks. What is soaks? I don't know. Oh. Is D a word? Is D?
Leaving it running for a little bit.
Yee? Oh, I didn't even see that.
Oh, green.
Wait.
I just think that.
Oh, 5 more sheep.
Wood for me. And a sheep. Gosh, fives are really rolling high.
Cannot for the life of me get wheat and wheat.
It's only where your developments are at, right? Not
Hey, Bank, can you hand out some wheat, Bank? Hey, Bank, can you hand out some wheat?
Sorry, I'm playing.
They're closed. The bank is closed.
Listen!
I'm playing a game with the bank.
It goes to the bank.
And then 1 road, please.
Hello, bank. I would like to purchase 1 road, please.
Here's my bread and my wood. And it's closed.
I give you brick, you give me road. And wheat. Got my first Berg box the other day and I love it. I can't wait for winter. Yay! Oh, Amber, you subscribed at a good time because the winter box is going to be lovely. Oh, I am, I'm soaking up hot cocoa bomb season. I am, because it's, it's a short window of time in the year, but man, am I looking forward to having a little bit more margin to go live on YouTube regularly. Explaining a board game and your brain just starts melting. That's me. I can't do it. If it takes more explanation, I just realized I've been recording for 14 minutes. I forgot I was recording a clip. My camera's just, it's going. But I don't, I have a limit. Once I get a few projects going, I'm like, I have to finish something before I start a new thing. Come here, look at your big eyes. Oh, I gotcha. She's in play mode right now, so she's biting a whole lot. Hello, oh, did somebody just get some hook minders? Hold on. If that was somebody watching, thank you so much for the order. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wait, can I give you a hook to play with? Not my hand. It's Murdoch. Look how big she's getting, you guys. Good morning. It is now Monday, and we have not finished this shirt yet. We're not even really close. I don't know if I showed this part the other day on Saturday before we left to go to our friend's house, but I did end up stitching on the back panel portion because I just wanted to get the placement right and see how it was looking. But once we determined that I needed 16 more squares, that was kind of what I turned my focus to, was just crocheting the squares. So as you saw, I worked on them at our little board game night, and I also worked on them last night when I went live on YouTube, which was super fun. This is the amount of squares we've made so far. I did just make like 2 more this morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we need 4 more. Oh, here's a 5th one right here. I forgot I was in progress of making another one. We have this awkward amount of time before I need to go to the vet. They're like literally 2 minutes down the road from us. They're basically at the edge of our neighborhood. I don't quite have enough time to do anything of significance, but I don't want to just sit around. So I guess I'll keep working on these squares. But once I finish these squares, then we can finish the stitching together part. And I'm starting to stress a little bit because in my mind, I thought, oh, I'm gonna finish this shirt yesterday. But I forgot that our friends moved into their beautiful new home yesterday, and we went over to help them unloading trailers and carrying boxes up and down stairs and helping to organize and clean and unbox things. And by the time Michael and I got home from that, I ended up taking a nap because I was very tired. And then when I woke up, I was like, well, I need to keep working on this project. And then I had the idea where I was like, oh, well, if I have more squares to crochet, I could actually go live and work on the squares. So I'm really glad that I thought of that because I did have a lot of fun going live again. My second ever YouTube live. So looking forward to the day where I can go live on a regularly scheduled basis, which is not very far away. It's just during hot cocoa bomb season, I have quite a bit on my plate and I just don't have the availability to go live on a regularly scheduled basis. We are back from the vet, but I am working on the final granny square that we need to make for this shirt. We did have a little bit of lunch, and I have the laser going, working on, well, I was going to get started on custom orders, but then I realized I had a sheet of leather down for the winter Berg box tags. There were just a couple rows left to be done before that sheet is all used up. So I'm like, let me just do a couple more rows of tags on that sheet. That way it's done and I don't have to pick it up and then put it back down. And then we'll get to the custom orders. Only 2 orders to work on that I have right now. Probably anything else I get this week is gonna have to wait until next Monday. So we're just gonna do these 2 orders today. They're not large orders. One is a set of hook minders from somebody who purchased them on the live last night. So thank you for that purchase. And then actually both orders from the analytics and information show that they were placed from YouTube, which is so encouraging to see. I really didn't think that YouTube was going to be bringing that much traffic to my website this early on, so that's very encouraging to see that you guys are enjoying my stuff and wanting to get things for yourselves. This is the last square. It's all done. So anyway, those orders shouldn't take too long. Here's all 16 of the extra squares that we needed. Now we are going to get them attached. I've made a really nice dent in this already of stitching together. You guys already saw the bottom panel. This is upside down, but this is the back part. And now I need to attach the rest of the squares on the sides for the part that's gonna come like over the shoulders. And then once that's done, we have to go back the other direction all the way down these rows. And that's gonna be one of those projects where I can just sit and get in the zone and just work on it.
Ahead of the game, my friends.
Because we have to be. This is a survival tactic.
It really is.
I have been able to use up one full cake, and the cake that I'm using right now.
so cute. I'm like, I have to make this. I'm obsessed with it. I think my girls would love these. These would be a great gift for a kiddo.
Quick update. I made a little mistake. Not a huge one. It's gonna be okay. At first I was panicking. I laid out the whole thing because I officially have gotten all of the squares attached vertically. And I was about to start sewing horizontally. But I was like, let me lay this thing out. See what it's looking like. And I realized that the center back panel is off. Because what I did was I attached it when I had the squares 13 wide. And then I decided to do 15 wide. And in my head I was thinking, okay, a row on each side, so that it would stay even. But I didn't do that. I put 2 rows, one after the other, and added onto the length, which made this off by a little bit. They're only attached on these 4 rows right here. Let me show you. I separated it so that I could see. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to go along and snip those pieces, shift it down, and tie it back in along the squares where it's supposed to be tied. Because these squares are already, of the main panel, they're already tied off. So it's not going to, unravel them or anything. So I just need to shift this over. And then I'm going to fold everything up into, the shirt shape. Lay it out. Put it up against my Carhartt shirt template. Make sure everything looks right before we move on to sewing horizontally. Because we're kind of a little bit locked in as it is, but we're really going to be locked in once we sew the other direction. And that is going to take a decent amount of time. I'm also looking at this and thinking, how cute of a blanket would this make? Christmas granny square blanket. I'm afraid it would be a whole vibe, but we are not doing that today. We are going to finish this shirt. And I'm pleased with the progress we've made. This set me back a tiny bit, but it's a minor setback. Let's get this fixed, and then we'll start making some new progress. It is finished. Crisis averted. Man, I'm just really discovering how these squares could be made into so many things. Big comfy scarf. Come on now. It'd be cute. I'd be down. I'd wear it. Let's lay this thing out and see what it looks like when it's kind of made into the shape of a shirt. It's a little hard to see, but this is the center where it's open. And then we've got the little kind of opening for the collar here. And then obviously this is where the sleeves will go. Okay, so now we are going to go up each of these rows and sew all the way around and across. And then we can actually move on to the next step of adding sleeves.
Yeah.
I just finished getting through the whole podcast episode. I need to do a couple little finishing touches, and then this thing will be ready to be scheduled. I haven't even finished stitching together the first square of the first row. So this is something that I could work on for the foreseeable future. I don't think there's anything else other than having the laser going, which it already is. I'm on the second of the 2 custom orders. There's not really anything else I can do to multitask. So I guess I'm just going to keep the laser running, and I'm going to keep working on this because I really want to make sure I get this vlog finished. I'm going to keep working on this. I'm going to wrap up the podcast, get it scheduled. Unfortunately for me, I feel like I've been working on this for forever, and I literally just finished the first row. So I'm gonna be at this for a while. Although I gave myself way more than enough slack. So I had a lot to feed through, and I realized toward the very end of this row that I could kind of just do one square at a time and then feed all I didn't have to pull it through every single stitch. So I do feel that the next rows will go faster now that I've kind of realized that I can do that and it's not gonna be a big deal. As I go, I think I'll get a better idea of how much yarn I actually need. And the custom orders are done engraving, and I'm back to winter tags. Just finished stitching the second row together. That one went way faster because of the way that I did it this time. So that's great. And actually only 2 more rows horizontally to go the full length, or width, I guess. And then it's just the smaller panels. So in my brain, I was thinking I was gonna be at this for hours and hours, but we're actually making really good time. So let's keep going. It's almost dinner time, friends, and I have brought my sewing project out to the kitchen to keep Michael company as he is embarking on a new culinary journey. We're attempting to make Nashville hot chicken, and he's doing the dang thing. He's got a breading station, he's got his buttermilk stuff, frying this chicken, and hopefully it turns out good. You're gonna do like probably 2 pieces at a time, so you don't want to overcrowd the pan.
Yes.
I get dinner and a show. A live cooking demonstration while I work on this. Dinner and a show and a sew.
I need like metal to do that stuff with. We need metal tongs.
You have metal tongs, the grill ones.
Huh? Ah, you're smart. This is a huge piece of chicken.
And dark.
Huh?
Got dark real fast.
Yeah.
Look at this chicken. Look at all these chickens. So as you can see, we clearly had a range of experimenting with the oil. She dark. This one, however, I just brushed with hot honey and my honey barbecue rub. And I am very excited to try it because it looks absolutely delightful. I think this is gonna be the winner of the batch for me. Okay, it is the evening. Dinner took a lot out of both of us. The kitchen was an absolute mess by the time we were done with dinner. It was tasty though. But the laser is once again going, and I did finish the row of stitching that I was on when I was working on things in the kitchen. Here's where we're at now. It's starting to come together. It's feeling like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, you know what I mean? So I have one final row of the full length of this thing, and then it's just the shorter sections up top. And then we can move on to whatever's next, which I think is sleeves, yeah? Oh, the half squares, aka rectangles, is technically what's next. Which is silly because I feel like I could have done that at the same time as I was doing all this, you know, and then I wouldn't have had to, like, I could have done the row all the way across. It's a little weird that she didn't have you do that first. I'm tired.
Format, so perhaps a deep dive into Life Vantage can be on the horizon in the future. And I must say that it is very highly entertaining for me that Lucy is now kind of trying to weasel her way back into her form.
Okay, we've officially finished all of the main bottom panel rows. Here's what we're looking like. Ah! So now we need to do this center back panel and then the 2 sides that are going to be the shoulder panels. And then we're going to start kind of folding it and stitching it and seaming it, turning it into something that Michael will actually be able to put on and see what it looks like on him, which makes me nervous and excited.
He's trying to find a way out, but this is a really funny account of a way that your escape route was sort of paved for you when your friend accidentally texted the man that he was talking about.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Passionate Kelsey, and welcome to this very passionate vlog. On today's vlog,
We have finished also now the back panel. All of these rows are done. So now what is left is the 2 shoulder panels, which will take even less time because there's less squares. It's 9:30 at night. We're still going.
But we should be doing it more. We can have those impacts on our children. We can teach them things. If you teach them discernment about social media, they will be smarter for it.
Okay, it's really not that late, but it feels like it's super late. I'm tired. Michael got in bed a while ago because he did not sleep well last night, and I'm about to get in bed. I'm about to put this one to bed. I did finish all of the horizontal stitching, and I would like to show you. I didn't get to the next part where we start folding it over and making stitches for the shoulders, but such is life. I did make a determination that I am going to continue with this and the other non-hot cocoa bomb things tomorrow because I just need more time. And I thought about it. Typically my rhythm for preparing for a event is a 3-day rhythm. I make chocolate shells one day, I make white chocolate shells the next day, and then the third day I decorate and package everything. So that would be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Technically, I can take tomorrow to work on this stuff, and I just didn't have enough time. We're not gonna be able to finish this, which means we're definitely not finishing the vlog. I haven't even started editing. Let's take a couple of stitch markers and let's stitch these pieces together. We're gonna sew, that'll be the first thing we do tomorrow when we pick this up, will be to stitch across this, and then I can officially have Michael try this on and see how it's fitting, which is scary, but also, like I said, exciting. It's been a long day, and I have gotten a lot accomplished. It's just that there's so much to accomplish that it doesn't feel like I got very much done. Okay. So this is currently where we're at. Oh my gosh. It's starting to look like something. We're supposed to do the half squares, the rectangles, down each side on the front here. But honestly, I don't know if we need to. I'm gonna see how it sits on him. This is where I stopped last time. I had him try it on, realized it was way too small, tried to figure out how I could make adjustments, realized that I wasn't going to be able to, and then I basically just like crocheted a little border around it and made it into a granny square vest. I still have mine sitting over here. So this is mine, and I stopped at that point, and I didn't add the sleeves. So mine looks similar, but mine is not as large overall. But like, look how well they go together, you know? We'll get back to this tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night. Good morning, it's Tuesday. We're still doing things. We have not finished the shirt or this vlog.
Many hours later.
I was sitting here crocheting as fast as I can, thinking about what is left to do in this project and all the other things that I must do. It's so funny how we get in our own heads. If I was watching a video of somebody else where they were like, I have a billion things to do and I really want to finish this project for you guys, but I just don't know how I'm gonna do it. Like, in my head, I'd be like, it's okay. Like, stop putting so much pressure on yourself. But when it comes to me, I'm like, I gotta get it done. I don't want this to be a 2-part thing. I want it all to be in this video. I have to crochet 16 more squares just to be able to stitch this together. And then I still have to do the collar and the edging and sewing on the buttons and weaving in ends and blocking. There's absolutely no way I'm getting that done tonight or even this week, realistically. I am but one person. So I'm calling it now. I'm gonna make this into a 2-part video. I really didn't want to have to do this, but this project is just more. It's more than I was anticipating it was going to be to finish. I can't afford to put blinders on and only focus on this. I have too many other things going on. That being said, that's where I'm gonna end today's vlog. I really wish that I could have gotten it all done and had a really beautiful finished product to hold up and show you guys, but that is just gonna have to be in next week's video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed to me yet, be sure to subscribe. As of recording right now, I am at 776, I think. Let's see. Am I obsessed with the exact number? No. Yeah, 776. We got a goal of getting to 1,000 before the end of the year, and I really, really would love to get there. So if you're enjoying the video and you haven't subscribed, it would really mean a lot to me if you would subscribe. And that way you won't miss another cozy vlog, because we're uploading them every week, even if I have to split it into 2 parts because I gotta get it edited and I don't have enough time. We're uploading every week. I will see you guys next week, and hopefully by then I will be able to share with you the final finished product of this project. I cannot wait to finish it and show you me and Michael side by side wearing our little cute matchy outfits. Okay, I'll see you next week. Bye.